Okay, look, this is the indicator, and look right here. You can see this was here before price ever got here. And look at this. We formed the level here. Right now, price went up to here, came down where? The blue line, right? So right now we're going up here again. And then when it gets here, you have to wait and see what happens. We have this HVG here that just had a pullback. We could have, if we had the chance, we could have entered here and, maybe got it something like this, right? Something like this. This is the HVG, correct? This right here is the HVG now. Now, I want to know what you're having trouble understanding. That way, I can focus on that. That will also give me a better understanding of what other people are having a hard time understanding, and I can explain it better to everyone. Yeah, I'll show you. Okay, you can continue. So you can see we have a line right here, and we might see right now, you see we had another candle and we have another line. So now we target that line, and you see exactly where it rejected right here. So right now, and this line turned blue or teal because this level is holding, and the indicator is able to tell that this is a strong level because it held. When a level holds, it'll hold one more time. It doesn't just hold once. On most of the time, it'll hold a few times, as you can see here. Hold, hold, hold. And this is live market, so we can't go any further ahead, but I could go back in time. And if you just give me a date that you want to go back to, Thursday last week. Okay. So last week, 16, 23rd. Okay. Um, yeah, let's do 23rd. Okay. Okay, let's wait for the indicator to load. It takes a little bit to load just because it gathers so much volume data that, yeah, it needs all that data to be able to predict all the levels. As you can see here, look, we had a level and see how it bounced right here. We had here, and then when it breaks a level, it needs a big body candle like it had here. So right here, I think we had a small pullback, a small one, as you can see, very, very minuscule pullback. But right here, you can see price began to continue up. Um, Another thing that's very good to use is, what do you trade mostly? Nasdaq, S&P? Well, so do I. S&P is my favorite, so great. But I'm using Nasdaq because the majority of the VRT users they trade Nasdaq. Um, the range is big, but and you have more control over S&P than Nasdaq. Um, Also, but with the indicator, you don't have that problem because you might say Nasdaq is scary, but when you have an indicator like this, it's not scary because it shows you where price will stop, and you know what to expect. So I'm gonna ask you just so I can tell if you've noticed, if you maybe figured out the levels a little bit. I'm gonna ask you what you expect here. So just let me see. See, the level is holding, HVG forms, and now you see you get a breakout, and it's just a very small trade, but you can do something like, then this is a scalp, right? But right here you can do something like this, like a one-to-one, and make a little bit of money. And then you see this level formed here, and now you know. Another thing right here is you have this HVG here, right? So you have to be careful with it here. I know we already saw that it breaks it, so I'm going to tell you what happens. When it breaks an HVG with this much strength, HVG, sorry, and you can see the sellers try to hold, they're trying to hold, they're trying to hold, but then ultimately it breaks. Okay, so it's okay. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah. Yes. Yes. So I'm gonna give you some advice on that. Let me tell you something. The way I do it is I trade until I get my first loss. For example, um, I start off the day. My first trade is profitable, make $500. My second trade is profitable, make another 500. My third trade is profitable, another 500. My fourth trade is a loss. I'm out because after you get that loss, your psychology changes, and now you have some revenge thought towards the market. So one way to do it is if you start trading and your first trade is a loss, take at least a 1 hour break from the market because that means there's you're going to be revenge trading. You're going to be psychologically you're not going to have an edge. So if your first trade is a loss, close your computer, close your phone, wherever you're trading, and just take a break for an hour or 2 hours, however long you need for your brain just to get back to level. And then when you go back into the market, go back in slowly. Don't just rush to find the trade. What this indicator does, what the VRT indicator is beautiful at doing is it tells you where you can expect the market to reverse or switch sides, right? So you always have a little bit of context. For even right here, you can see there are two levels here, this one and this one. I'm highlighting it just in case it doesn't show. But you can see now you can expect the first rejection here. See, price went down. We formed an HVG. Price broke. We broke out of this level. And now, as soon as we broke out of this level, that's when you can take a trade, right? At any time in the market, you can take a trade. You put your stop loss below the HVG and you target a 2 to 1 or a 3 to 1 or the next target, which is this one. You can see that here, right? Was the next target. Look at this. We're going to probably reject here. We're going to come down here. And then from here, we're probably going to continue up. Or the other thing that could happen is we reject here where the HVG is. Let's see what happens. See, see, we came down to the red level, just as I told you, and now it continues. Now you can expect to take an entry off an HVG again. And since you see now that that HVG broke, what you do right now, you can see it broke with strength. So right now the trade becomes, now this is just example so you get it. I'm not saying this is a good trade. So right now the trade becomes this, right? So right now you wait for the pullback into the HVG, or we have one here too. I don't know if this one's gonna work because it got there so quickly, but let's see what happens. So let's see if we can get that. We got the entry and look at that. You see? So pullbacks, waiting for the reaction, and being patient to enter at the right spots. VRT gives you many opportunities. You don't have to be impatient with VRT because there's always something to trade. Just wait for it to reach your level. Just wait for price to go to your level. And your levels will always have reactions. As you can see here, we have an HVG here. Probably returning to that HVG. As you see, we returned to that HVG and we broke above. Right now, we could get another reaction here. Let's see. You see, where did we react? Right there. So right now, the only two HVGs are these, and we have a high of an HVG here. So you see, this couldn't be more perfect. We got a level here. What can we expect? How about that? Where did we stop at the red level? It's just, I'm telling you, this is not, this, I don't even know why I'm sharing this. I want to help traders. I want people to be making money. I want everybody to know that this is possible. And so that's the reason I'm sharing this.